Hello, and welcome to Inventors Helping Inventors. I'm your host, Alan Beckley, inventor of the Wonder Wallet. If you're an inventor searching for proven ways to make money with your invention, if you dream to see your product selling in stores everywhere, you've come to the right place. There's no better place to get help than from experts, inventors who've already achieved success. Every week, I interview successful inventors, asking them the questions you want to know. Tune in to learn from the experts so you can get your invention out of the tank and into the bank.
Why do 95% of products not make money for the inventor? Why is it only 5%? In doing that, the other statistic that came out at me that really jumped out at me was I learned at that time that only 7% of products that have patents were filed by women.
If you've listened to this podcast for a while, you've heard me talking about the Inventors Bootcamp, right? Over the last 3 years, hundreds of inventors have joined us in the Inventors Bootcamp, and we have lots of exciting success stories from our students. But guess what? The bootcamp is not for everyone. If you like to tinker with invention ideas occasionally on weekends, hoping that someday someone will buy your idea, the Inventors Bootcamp is not for you. If you think it's your job to just come up with ideas and someone else can take care of the rest, prototypes, packaging, and contacting companies, the Inventors Bootcamp is not for you. But if inventing really matters to you, if you know deep in your heart that you've got an invention ripe for success, if you're willing to learn and do whatever it takes to be successful, I'm here to help you, and the Inventors Bootcamp is your ticket, your next logical step forward. So, what is it? When is it? And how do you sign up? The Inventors Bootcamp is 5 days of live interactive Zoom meetings. Monday, November 11th through Friday, November 15th, for 1 hour each night. Teaches you precisely how to create a clear, concise marketing message, which is exactly what companies want to hear. When you join us, you'll meet other inventors, plus you get a licensing masterclass, and lots more. The next Inventors Bootcamp starts very soon. Monday, November 11th. Enrollment is open now. Just go to www.alanbeckley.com/bootcamp. Many podcast listeners, just like you, have joined the Inventors Bootcamp. Here are just a few of our success stories. Duncan Ashworth has 2 companies interested in licensing his COVID-killing floor sanitizing invention. Daryl Carter secured a business partner and licensing arrangement. His asthma relief product debuts this fall. And Julietta Hughes tested her portrait artist invention. Now she's got a clear strategy for reaching out to companies to license it. Ready to add your success story to our list? The bootcamp is your ticket. Register now at www.alanbeckley.com/bootcamp to save your seat in the November bootcamp. November is upon us, and the year is almost over. As an inventor, this is a perfect time to hone your marketing message so that you're ready to hit the ground running in January to approach companies with your product. Through premium coaching, I've helped quite a few inventors just like you to do just that, to create your clear, concise, and compelling marketing pitch. I'm happy to help you gain traction with your product, as I have for other podcast listeners. So if you're hearing, it's not really for us, it means your marketing message is unclear to them. It's not compelling. That's why they say no. If you'd like to know more, to see if premium coaching might be a fit for you, just email me at alan@alanbeckley.com and put premium coaching in the subject line. I'll get back with you to set up a Zoom meeting. But don't wait, as I have room to take on only 2 more clients at this time. So again, just email me at alan@alanbeckley.com and put premium coaching in the subject line, and I'll get back with you to set up a Zoom meeting. Welcome to episode number 456. Today, I interview Marcy McKenna. Marcy McKenna was born into a family of inventors and knew since childhood that inventing was her calling. But it wasn't until 2010, when circumstances forced she and her husband to become a dual-income household, that Marcy made the decision to kick fear to the curb and finally follow her dream of bringing her product ideas to life. As a stay-at-home mom of 3 small children, including one with special needs, taking the leap into the world of inventing was a daunting task, but one she was determined to succeed at. She soon became the winning inventor of Kelly Ripa's invention reality show, Homemade Millionaire, and then went on to become the winner of Edison Nation's As Seen on TV product search. For Marcy, it was a steep learning curve with many ups and downs, but today she's proud to have successfully developed, licensed, and launched over 30 products via home shopping, e-commerce, and big box retail. Her products have been sold everywhere from HSN and QVC to Lowe's, Bed Bath & Beyond, Sharper Image, and the Container Store, and have been featured in publications like Better Homes and Gardens, InStyle Magazine, Inc., and Harper's Bazaar. She recently partnered with the home shopping powerhouse HSN to develop and launch an exclusive line of signature products, Home and Travel Essentials by Marcy McKenna. She's also in the midst of becoming an international brand with her own show on Canada's TFC home shopping channel. Having achieved much success in the inventing world, Marcy is now very excited to be working with the USPTO and the United Inventors Association to embark on a passion project to inspire, educate, and empower more females to follow their dreams of bringing their product ideas to life. To that end, she's published several entrepreneurial and invention-related articles and has been a contributor to online invention sites, as well as a featured guest on morning shows, webinars, national radio shows, and podcasts. You'll want to listen to this entire interview as Marcy McKenna describes how live shopping now allows inventors to cost-effectively live stream on a host of platforms to connect with buyers and prospects for their inventions. Also, how the real business benefit of live shopping comes after your broadcast, as you can repurpose that same live content onto multiple platforms to drive organic traffic. And finally, how she often advises against hiring an expensive Amazon expert. Instead, connect with an Amazon influencer to increase your sales quickly. Now, let's get right to our interview with Marcy McKenna. Marcy McKenna, it's a pleasure to have you back on the podcast with us again today.
It is such a pleasure to be here. I was really excited when I found out we were going to get to do another one.
Absolutely. Marcy, you're a prolific inventor with a variety of products, and you now have an entire product line on HSN. For our newer listeners, I last interviewed you in January of 2023, episode number 264. In that episode, you shared with our listeners the story about how you came to invent the polish parlor as an early invention. Then you parlayed that success to continue inventing many products. You now have an entire product line on HSN and have sold on TSC Home Shopping Channel in Canada and so much more. For those who missed the last episode, you may wish to pause this episode, go back and listen to 264 first to get all the details. So to kick this off, can you take a few minutes, Marcy, and share with our listeners what has happened in the last 18 months since we talked? And in short, what's new that we didn't discuss last time?
Oh gosh, in a few minutes. That's a tall task, but lots of fun, exciting things. My favorite part of what I do, and I think you would probably share the same sentiment, is I just have such a passion for working with inventors, helping inventors, people that are coming into this world not knowing what they don't know, and trying to help them have the straightest path to product success and not make all the mistakes that I made in the beginning. I remember always just swearing to myself, if I ever find success in this business, I'm going to find a way to help other people do the same. So that has been really fun. And to that end, and in terms of what's new, I'm doing a lot of hosting right now on Grommet Live. And that is a live shopping weekly series. We actually do a couple shows a week. And the reason why I love it so much and I'm so passionate about it is because that platform specifically is geared toward independent inventors and makers. And the opportunity I have when I host that show is that I can really shine a light on these products that I think are so clever and unique and innovative, but they get lost in the shuffle of the hundreds of millions of products that are on the big sites like Amazon. It's just so hard to get found. And most of the time, these products are way better than the ones that are making so much money and selling in such huge numbers. So it's just an opportunity to really not only talk about the product itself, but the story behind the product. And we as inventors, we love telling our story. It's always interesting. So that's a really fun part of what I'm doing now. I'm still running the Women Inventors Club, which is really feeds my soul in such a special way. And I still have my product line on HSN as you mentioned. And I've got a whole bunch of new products coming out. Actually, we're doing a whole new collection for spring travel, Mother's Day, and summer travel. So that's been a lot of putting my inventor hat back on, which has been a lot of fun.
You do have a lot of stuff going on, and I wanted to speak very briefly. So, for those who maybe aren't so familiar with Grommet, I believe that's Grommet, 2 M's.
MMET, yes.
So, Grommet Live, and they'll find it there, right?
What the Grommet website is
Okay.
thegrommet.com.
Greatness. Okay.
And
Right.
then the Grommet Live show you can find on their Facebook page or on YouTube or on my website, which is
Great.
marcymckenna.com.
Perfect. You already referenced that you've created the Women's Inventors Club. What motivated you to create this organization? And also, do you feel that there are inventing challenges that are particularly affect women inventors? Can you share your thoughts about that with our listeners?
Absolutely. And great question, actually. And the two go hand in hand, really, because the reason that this was such an important thing for me to do was it started back during COVID when I started to have more time on my hands because my product line on HSN is a travel product line. And as you can imagine, during COVID, the travel products all basically went away completely. So I did have time on my hands, and I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to start helping other inventors. So I started just doing a little sort of research and finding out, why are inventors struggling so much? Why do 95% of products not make money for the inventor? Why is it only 5%? In doing that, the other statistic that came out at me that really jumped out at me was I learned at that time that only 7% of products that have patents were filed by women, or 7% of patents filed in America were done so by women. That's probably a better way to put it. And that was jaw dropping to me, really stunning, because so many women have reached out to me at this point with their product ideas, and they're phenomenal ideas. We are problem solvers at heart. And so the ideas just keep coming and coming. And I'm thinking, why on earth is there such a disparity? And so it was in that moment that I thought, this is my calling. My mission in life is going to be to help women inventors to level the playing field and, if anything, even give them a leg up to succeed. Because given the resources, given the knowledge, the tools, the information, they can do this. And I know that. And so I also know that in the inventing world, when I first started out, it felt very male skewed, very male dominant. And I was intimidated to ask certain questions. because I really was so green coming into it. And so I just always felt fish out of water. And I thought I would love to create an environment where women can be safe, where they can feel that they're in a safe haven with other women who are locking arms with the goal of helping each other, of we're all on the same team and we want to help each other succeed. And so that was the impetus for the Women Inventors Club. And to this day, we have about 1,000 members now. And it is so wonderful. They're just open books, helping each other, sharing resources, ideas, bouncing new products off of each other and how to market them. And it's just been really cool. And so when you ask about, is there any difference? Is there any, I would say that that part about it being such a male dominated or seemingly a male dominated industry, I think I was watching so many women shy away from it because of that, or think that just not have the confidence to actually put one foot in front of the other and take their idea and turn it into a real life product. And I think they really find that inside the Women Inventors Club because they are locking arms and really supporting and providing accountability and all of that.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And one thing you cited I'd really highlight is only 7% of patents filed are by women. And I'll share with you, I started this podcast almost 6 years ago, and I didn't start it with any particular intent, but I would say probably 55 to 60% of the inventors I have on the podcast are women. Amazing inventors I've seen, just brilliant on both sides, of course, but just when I had Chandra Devam on, and she casually mentioned that when she was 18, she graduated, of course, from, Stanford, that when she was 18 and she was closing on her first house. And I said,
Oh
Chandra,
my God.
not too many people when they're 18 are closing on their first house. Brilliant people out there. And so it is a goal of mine to certainly highlight and encourage women inventors. But I'm also like you, seeing from my own view, there's so many amazing women inventors out. And I suspect that 7% is really behind where the trend is now. I think there's more and more women getting involved in inventing, and I think that's fantastic.
100%. And in fact, I was going to clarify that was back in 2000 when I first started delving into the world and looking at the statistics. Today, that's increased to almost 14%. It's almost doubled in a very short period of time. So it's exciting, the trajectory. And I think because women are seeing more women doing this, they are getting the courage to kick fear to the curb and take their idea and actually go out there and make it happen. And that to me is so exciting to see.
Absolutely. You also mentioned that live shopping presents some unique opportunities for inventors and entrepreneurs. Can you share with our listeners what live shopping is and how it particularly benefits inventors?
Yes. And I'm so glad that you asked this question because I do feel so strongly about the live shopping platform, if you will, or the opportunity for inventors because I've seen firsthand, I've been doing it for 14 years now, but I have seen what it can do for a brand very quickly. And yes, I'd like to highlight some of that. But to your question of what is live shopping? So I think so many of us are familiar with QVC and HSN, which has been my world for a long time. And that is the traditional world of live shopping for sure. It's more previously called home shopping. But in today's world, it is a whole new take on that home shopping. And so it is live streamed and it can be on many different platforms. There's Amazon Live, of course, on the Amazon platform. There's Pinterest TV, which I used to host on quite a bit. And then all the social platforms. So Grommet Live, for instance, I simulcast on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn and multiple pages on each. The idea being that you are connecting live with your customers or your potential customers. And as inventors, there's so many elements of this that is exciting even before your product hits the market, because this is a way for you to find out directly from the people who would be your consumer, your customers, what they think of certain things. I use it all the time in my product development process. where I will host a Facebook Live and say, I would love for you guys to come in. I'm getting ready to roll out a new jewelry case and I want to get your opinion on some different materials I'm looking at. And so suddenly I've got all these people on and they're telling me what they like and what they don't like. And now they're a part of my product development process. And it's so much fun for them. They really enjoy being a part of that. And then when that jewelry case finally comes out, they feel invested in it. They feel like they had a say in that. So it's a way for me to build a tribe for the products that I'm launching before I ever even launch them. And then when I let them know it's coming, they can't wait to share it with everybody to say, guess what? I was a part of that process. So that's just a very simple example of a non-traditional way of using live shopping, but it's something that it's probably the single most affordable way to get your product in front of people. And when I say that, it's because you can go live anytime you want and show the product. Now, people say, what if nobody's watching and how would I get anyone to watch? The truth is, it actually doesn't matter if anybody watches because the real value of live shopping is in what happens after the show. And it's what you do with the content. So if you've done a half-hour live shopping event, you can take that half-hour piece of content and splice it and dice it into 6 different little pieces of social media content to market your product. And you can create social media posts around those 6 pieces. And it's just becomes this sort of social media content machine that so many of us struggle with how to market our products and what do we post and will anybody care? And this is a way to very easily and inexpensively create content for your product and then taking that, putting it on social, putting it into an email marketing campaign, sending it to different bloggers, different platforms to talk about your product. And so that element too is just a really strong way to get your product out there. The other thing I want to say about that is let's say you don't have very many followers at all. What drives the algorithm on social media is the chat. Most of the time it's comments, right? That's the algorithm for almost all of the platforms. When you're live talking about your product, it's amazing how many people start chiming in and asking questions. And if you get good at doing it, you're asking them questions and they're responding. So your comments section fills up very quickly, which signals to the social media platforms, wow, this person's got something cool going on. So we're going to push this out to more and more people. And that's how those big numbers start to happen very quickly without you even you could have 0 followers in the beginning, but they're seeing you invite people on. And if those comments start coming, that really triggers the algorithm. So that's another way. The other thing I want to say is that average order value when you're selling your product, we all have that goal. Of course, when someone's checking out, you want that order value to be as high as possible. And in live shopping, it can be what they're averaging is about 3 to 4 times average order value with live shopping. And the reason for that is because if I'm talking about that jewelry case, let's say, and then I say, oh, and if you love this case, it goes so perfectly inside of this tote bag. I've got to show you this because it's such a perfect match. And what a great gift it is for the upcoming, whether it's Mother's Day or whatever it is. So you're talking, you're engaging, you're building trust, they're getting to know you, and then you're giving them ideas. And that's how you can really build upon that average order value.
Wow, that's amazing. There's so much stuff there. I'm just going to hit it from a real high level. But as you were going through and talking about it, I was thinking of it's almost like QVC and HSN. Anybody who's ever gone on either of those knows that you are taking some significant risk in bringing a large amount of product in order to get on those electronic television places. They're great
Yes.
places to expose a product, but it can be significant capital risk. Whereas this almost like democratizes that the live platform now can take it to a much less expensive, much easier, and much more accessible to people without thousands of products that they have to bring at one time. So I can see that there's a huge potential there. And as you just described, when you can get the interaction going that keeps people on the platform, that's what every social media platform wants is the comments and people being engaged on the platform. So that does sound like
Yes.
a great opportunity indeed.
That's such a great way to put it, Alan. It really is like you have your own little mini QVC or HSN that you can have a show whenever you want to have it, and you can control that. And if you don't like the way the show came out, you don't have to put it on social media. You don't have to put it on your website. That does bring me to another really valuable part of live shopping after the show is that then you take that show and you put it on your website. And Google loves time on page and they love fresh content. So if you're doing one show a week and that show is 30 minutes, let's say, then every week you are putting 30 minutes of fresh content on your website. And if people even watch just a portion of it, the time on page is so much higher than you will ever get with just a traditional website with no live shopping, no live streaming on it. So you can really affect your SEO through live shopping. That's a really nice benefit to it.
Such an amazing point. I'd like to shift gears and speak about Amazon. Amazon can be a great platform to sell any inventive product to consumers, but there are some complexities to Amazon that often frustrates inventors. I understand that you help inventors to navigate Amazon successfully. Can you briefly describe that for our listeners? And also, what would you say is the single biggest mistake that inventors make when putting their products on Amazon?
Again, great questions. Yes, this is a topic that is very popular among my women inventors in the Women Inventors Club. And I just recently learned how important this was because I hosted a event around basically Amazon seller success strategies. And I wanted to do that because I look at Amazon through a very unique perspective because I am a brand, got my own products on Amazon. I am also an Amazon influencer. I'm also an Amazon affiliate and I host on Amazon Live. So I'm looking at it through all the different lenses. And as I wear all those different hats on Amazon, I can very clearly see what are the elements that can really help, especially a small, brand new product, independent inventors stand out on a platform like that. And what are those things that they can take advantage of that they might not know about? Because what's happening when you say, what is the biggest mistake? I'm not even sure if I would call it a mistake, but I would definitely say the biggest challenge is that when you get your product on Amazon, you hear from so many people that you must hire an Amazon expert or you will not succeed. You must spend a boatload of money on Amazon ad spend or you will not succeed. And that can be very intimidating. And it can be beyond intimidating. So you do go out and you hire those people and you spend money on ads and then you don't see the results. And then all of this money has gone to something and it's very defeating and frustrating and scary, actually. And so, what are the tools that we can use as inventors and not spend a whole lot of money, but that can really help us stand out? So, that's how I've been helping inventors is to recognize what those are, how to set themselves up in terms of the tools. Like, I'm a really big believer in Helium 10. I don't know if you're familiar with that. There's a couple different programs out there that can really help you. And one is the two big ones I would say are Helium 10 and Jungle Scout. They're very similar. I'm a little partial to Helium 10, but even just one very simple feature is that it looks at your actual Amazon listing page and grades it, gives you a score and tells you why you scored what you scored and how to make your Amazon listing page a 10. And that really is very important. And so knowing about tools like that and taking advantage of those is great. But things like, I really do believe if you're going to be on Amazon, that influencer marketing is really important. And if you don't have a lot of money, that's also a great way to get your product seen is because some influencers, not all of them, but some will promote your product just for free product. But the really good ones do want a little bit more than that. And so there's some ins and outs to that. And how do you find them? So we have a lot of sneaky ways to track down Amazon influencers. But when you are able to create a relationship with an influencer there and they create really good content for you, a video, a shoppable video that ends up on your product listing page, that's a big deal. That can really exponentially increase your sales very quickly. I recently did a video for the Neg. I don't know if you're familiar with that product. It peels eggs it's
Mm.
actually another HSN product. But anyway, I did a video and I didn't even tell her. And she and I were talking a while back and she said, yeah, we were just chugging along and not a whole lot of sales at this one point. And all of a sudden we got all these sales and we don't know what happened. And I was equating and going back in my mind, calculating. And that was right about the time that I had uploaded the video. And it ended up on her landing page. And because I'm so passionate about her product, it converted very well. And so I say that not to toot my horn at all, but to say how valuable those types of things can be for your success for standing out on Amazon. The other thing is there's a program that many people don't know about. It's fairly new, and it is the Amazon affiliate program. They have had Amazon associates for a long time. Essentially, it's been really in Amazon's hands where Amazon determines how much influencers get paid, and it's a very small percentage. And so it's not a great situation for the influencers. And so Amazon affiliate just came out where you can go on there and you can set how much you're willing to pay an influencer to create a video or to feature your product on Amazon Live or even mention your product in a blog, whatever it is that however creative you want to be with it, but you can set what that price is. And that is a lot more enticing to the influencers. And so that's a great way to attract somebody to represent your product and to promote your product. Now, I will caution with that is I would never want any of our independent inventors to go out there and just get any influencer to talk about their product. And that is a big mistake that people make. Really important to find someone that can speak very authentically to your product. So, looking for those influencers that are already talking about products in your category is important because otherwise it's money down the drain. If it's not authentic, it's not going to convert and it's not going to move the needle for your product. So it is important to spend some time in social media is what I recommend is looking on YouTube, looking on Pinterest, finding out who are those people that are already talking about products. If you have a pet product, who talks about pet products and who does a good job of it. And then when you hone in on a short list of those people, then you can approach them with some sort of marketing opportunity, a win situation. And that is an excellent way to drive organic traffic to your Amazon listing page. And so what happens with that is two things is number one, your product is getting seen without you having to spend money on Amazon ad spend. But the other thing that happens is with that affiliate program, they give you a 10% kickback for bringing traffic off platform onto platform. So if an influencer is doing something, let's just say on Pinterest, talking about your product, and there's a link to your Amazon product listing page, you'll get a kickback of 10%. So let's say you agree to pay an influencer 20%. Really, you're only paying them 10% because you're getting that kickback from Amazon. So it's a very affordable way, again, to promote your product non-traditionally.
There's so much to unpack there. I just really appreciate you sharing all of that with us. It just looks like Amazon is offering so much more than it used to offer and bringing in influencers and things like that, and really just getting to understand and know really how social media works and what the different platforms value. As you mentioned, for example, definitely true that YouTube wants you to stay on YouTube as long as possible. So they don't want somebody bouncing off YouTube and going to your link. If you do that all the time, YouTube doesn't like that too much. And every platform has their own sort of quirks and et cetera. And The only thing you ultimately own is your email list. As we roll to a close, I would like to ask you, how can our listeners reach you, Marcy, if they have other questions?
Yeah, the best way to get me is through my website, which is Marcy McKenna, Marcy with a Y, MarcyMcKenna.com. And there you can find everything from Grommet Live to I do some consulting work and some marketing, helping people with marketing with Amazon, with all kinds of different things. And I have my live shopping academy, which is just a very soup to nuts way to get started with live shopping. So you can learn all about that there. You can shop my products there. It's all there.
That's fantastic. So just marcymckenna.com, and you
Yes.
spelled it out real clearly. Once again, Marcy, thanks so much for being on our podcast for a third time. And I'm sure we're going to be wanting to touch bases with you again in another 6 months or a year. Again, it's always a pleasure to chat with you. And thanks for being on the podcast again.
It is always a pleasure for me too, Alan. And I will love to come back anytime. I enjoy it so much. So thank you for having me.
You bet. So you're done searching for your product and it's not out there. Yay! Maybe you filed for a provisional patent and done some marketing research or surveys. Heck, maybe you've even created a rough prototype, then found that, although it kind of works, it looks like something from the Stone Age. You'd be embarrassed to show it to your friends, much less to a manufacturer for a licensing pitch. What if I could put you in touch with a guy who offers free consultations, takes no money down, no money up front, and will give you a quote on your project before he starts? What if I told you that this same guy can help you design your product and make you a virtual prototype before you ever put a penny into building a physical one? What if I told you he could make you patent drawings, CAD files for manufacturing, and even make marketing videos and build you a website? If this sounds like someone you want to talk to, let me introduce you to my first podcast sponsor, Brian Keast at I Draw Dreams for Inventors. With 3.5 years of trade school and 15 years of mechanical experience working as a mechanic for General Motors, you have someone that's seen countless design failures and how they were fixed. Also, he had a 25-year career as a general contractor who designed his own houses and remodels on computer-aided design. In getting plans through countless building departments, he gained a tremendous amount of experience by working directly with structural engineers. The many years of combined experience in these two careers gave him a unique look into stresses and failures in design. He brings this wealth of knowledge and experience to his company, I Draw Dreams, as the CAD guy who will design a product for you that will work. Every inventor I've referred to Brian has come away delighted with the work he has done for them, and I think you will too. Just make sure to tell them that Alan sent you. Thanks so much for tuning in to Inventors Helping Inventors. If you like the show, please tell your friends about it. Make sure to subscribe in iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts so you won't miss a single episode. Talk to you soon.